All right, with more than 8.5 million followers, Donald Trump uses Twitter as a way no presidential candidate ever has before. But his foray into social media began with a much simpler purpose. Here to explain, the man behind the real Donald Trump on Twitter, Pete Costanzo. Pete, welcome.
Hi, thank you. It's nice to be here.
2009, you have a book coming out with Donald Trump called?
Think Like a Champion.
And you said to yourself, I have a way, Donald Trump, for you to promote this. How did you get that message to him?
Well, we were working very closely with the Trump team at the time, and I had told them about social media and that it was a new way to promote books. And but the thing I explained to them was that social media only really works when there's an authenticity to it. So it really would have required Mr. Trump to be involved. And so they said, well, if that's the case, then you're going to have to tell him that yourself. So they invited me to come back the following week, and I had 7 minutes to explain to him what social media was all about, and so he was very interested in it.
And here's a guy in his 60s. A lot of people don't want to change the way they do things. He was so willing to be open to the opportunity to bypass the media and be his own media trumpet, correct?
That's right. And there was this imposter at the time who was tweeting as Donald Trump, and he was using the handle @DonaldTrump. And so I don't think he particularly liked that. So when I said to him, well, this is what we can do, let's call you real Donald Trump, I think he liked the sound of that.
And then later on, Twitter would have a verification system, but now everybody uses real, especially in the celebrity world. Let's look at his very first tweet. The month, May. The day, the 4th. The year, 2009. Here it is. Be sure to tune in and watch Donald Trump on Late Night with David Letterman as he presents the top 10 list tonight. So at that point, he did not have much of a following. Man, that changed.
It sure did, yeah.
How much did he love to see those numbers multiply?
Well, I think he responded to it in a very positive way, because every week we would see just thousands of people either come on Twitter or Facebook, and it would just grow and grow. And the more it grew, I think the more he wanted to be involved.
Right, and you got his voice. So he's got the combination of he knows how to give sound bites, he understands the media, and then he's using his own. The 140 characters plays to his strength, perhaps. Now you talk about something else that often gets him in trouble, and he says, I don't get in a lot of trouble with Twitter, but I get a lot more trouble, he told Megyn Kelly, with retweets.
Yeah, well, you do have to be careful. You have to really take a moment and think about it, because once you do it, it's out there for the world to see.
Because in the beginning, you were doing a lot of it. You guys were doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
But you said, when it comes to something very personal, you got to check with me. And then you noticed something, you were telling me in the green room, that really changed. He's doing almost all of it now, it seems.
Yeah, from what I understand, he's got this great young guy named Justin who is handling his accounts now for him. But from what I understand, they really pulled him in, and he's tweeting himself and you know, really involved personally. You know,
also, Peter, you mentioned too Facebook. So when you said, okay, when we bring him to Twitter, bring him to Facebook. When they go to Facebook, go to Twitter. Again, you realized that in 2009.
Yeah, and also YouTube. It went so well that he invited me back. I interviewed him for an hour, and we created a promotional video that went up on YouTube. And interestingly enough, at the end of that, when the cameras were off, we had a little chat about the new President Obama. And he said, well, I really hope he can, you know, help the economy. And then he said to me, you know, I'm thinking of running for president. And his team confirmed that back then, too. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And he did. And he was. Also, we also did some, we looked through the stats and looked through the retweets and found out what was #1 for him. Believe it or not, it's the very controversial Happy Cinco de Mayo. The best taco bowls are made in Trump Tower Grill. I love Hispanics. So this was something that was even brought up on our show yesterday by a Hispanic executive that has looked at it as a negative way. But bottom line is, people loved it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's one of those things where I think his fans are his fans, and they want him to be himself. And like I said, when you're authentic on social media, usually it works for you.
All right, and it is working much more than the other candidates. Anyone close to his savvy when it comes to this?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people who use social media very effectively, but I think he has just raised the bar as far as what could be done.
All right, Peter, it was a good move getting that meeting, and you made the most of your 7 minutes. Peter Costanzo, he's Digital and Archival Manager with the Associated Press. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And by the way, his book did become a bestseller.
It did.
All right.